Hello, my name is Miles Parscale, and this is my submission for the assignment in ECED 541, Grandparents Raising Children. This is my plan and steps to try and get grandparents not only services and support that they need, because there are many of them raising the children now, but also funding for these services and support, and just funding in general for these grandparents, because as many of these sources that we studied laid out, quote, more than 26,000 grandparents are raising 55,000 grandchildren, which works out to 10% of all of the state of New Mexico's kids, nearly double the rate during the 1990s. So think about that. In the last 35 years or less, the rate of how many grandparents are raising their own grandchildren as the primary caregivers and legal guardians has nearly doubled, which means that that number is quite literally quadrupled, because the amount of people in this world has increased exponentially as well over that time. Part of my plan would be to, a lot of these grandparents raising their kids are dealing with problems of, because of illnesses, incarceration, addiction. The opioid epidemic, according to the PBS NewsHour video, has contributed to the increase of grandparents raising their children. This would be part one of my plan, would be to make sure that these grandparents' families, these families in crisis, are receiving the things that they need ahead of time. I want to make a petition for the city council and get their votes on an action plan that lays out steps in order to make sure that these families that are disadvantaged or are repeat drug offenders in jail, in and out of jail, are being serviced, so that they can nip this in the bud ahead of time, making sure that this doesn't become a problem where these parents, God forbid, die or lose custody of their kids, and the grandparents are left with that all on their own. Another problem that has come up, that is a figure that has increased since 2017. This has increased in New Mexico despite decreasing nationally, and this is contributed despite the fact that our state is 55% Hispanic, which is the most of any state, and their families tend to stick together according to these resources here provided to us. That our state should be a paragon for these grandparents trying to help their families raise kids, but instead they end up being the ones raising them and end up taking them to places like Social Security appointments, doctor's appointments, and according to the Searchlight New Mexico articles,